Hi, this is Alex Inman. Before we start, I wanted to let you know that the episode of Friendship is Magic I'll be discussing, Griffon the Brush-Off, contains instances of bullying and gaslighting. I'm not discouraging you from listening because the episode has a very healthy ending, and I even discuss why that is significant. But if you're sensitive to those topics, I just wanted to let you be aware of it up top. Okay, let's start the rewind. Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of the Friendship Rewind, a look back at every single episode of the hit animated show, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. I am your host, Alex Inman, currently celebrating a momentous historical moment for the United States on today, November 6th, 2020. And if you are listening to this past this date, you know how significant this day is, because a great stress has lifted off the United States. But that's as much as I'll get into that, because we're here to talk about ponies, right? And today we'll be discussing what is arguably the most important episode of the entire series given its subject matter, and it's only the 5th episode of the show. And that episode is Griffon the Brush-Off, written by Cindy Morrow. Another excellent writer. She's written for Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Chowder, a few of those new Mickey Mouse shorts, Lauren Faust's DC Superhero Girls, and most recently has been doing dialogue revisions for the English dub of Miraculous Ladybug. She also wrote an episode of the somewhat short-lived but highly beloved My Life as a Teenage Robot, which was created by Rob Renzetti, who is the story editor, aka head writer, for the first 2 seasons of Friendship is Magic, and I apologize for not mentioning him earlier. And so we begin this episode with Twilight laying on a bench reading a book and not listening to Pinkie Pie as she talks about Rainbow Dash. And I noticed on watching this a little detail that is definitely not present in the later seasons, and that is Twilight lightly twitching her tail as she reads in a very horse-like way. And this brings to mind part of Lauren's big foundation for the show and how the show's world is constructed, and that's that she wanted a much more horse-like behavior for the characters. And then Rainbow Dash flies by above, and Pinkie Pie follows her, calling out to her. Rainbow Dash is kind of annoyed with Pinkie Pie and doesn't want to listen to her. And so in trying to avoid Pinkie Pie, she ends up not noticing the mountain that's right in front of her and crashes right into it, which, of course, was the very thing that Pinkie was trying to warn her about. Wah wah. After the theme song and a break, we're back sometime later, and Rainbow Dash is still trying to avoid Pinkie Pie. And it is at this scene that we need to talk about the most important aspect of Pinkie Pie's character, and that is that she has been imbued with the power of cartoons. What I mean by that is that she can do really wacky cartoon things, like teleporting around places where it wouldn't be possible, pulling things out of thin air, and manipulating her body's shape and size. And the reason why this all works is because she is the only character who is allowed to do it. Every other character in Friendship is Magic does have some kind of cartoonish nature to them, but nothing to the extent of Pinkie Pie. And that is why her cartoonish, physics-breaking abilities work. And she demonstrates them very well in this chase sequence with Rainbow Dash. Because Rainbow Dash travels very fast across very far distances, but Pinkie follows very slowly in a very Pepe Le Pew-like short hop as she travels slowly across that same distance. and she always appears right next to or right underneath Rainbow Dash wherever she is, and it's just pure, beautiful, cartoonish moments. And of course, since you can never outrun a cartoon character, Rainbow Dash does give up because Pinkie wants her to join her to prank someone. And that someone is unfortunately Spike, who is coming out of Town Hall with a whole bunch of scrolls. And with a strategically placed cloud, Rainbow Dash hits it on Pinkie's cue, producing lightning and scaring Spike and causing him to have hiccups. He tries picking up all the scrolls that he dropped, but his hiccups cause his flame ability, and he one by one sends off all the scrolls to Princess Celestia, and we actually cut to Princess Celestia's room every time a scroll gets sent. At one point, he flames away a whole bunch of scrolls, and then we cut to Celestia's room, and she gets rained on by scrolls, and it's really funny. Rainbow Dash likes this more mischievous side of Pinkie Pie, much like her, and so the two of them actually start to hang out. And I like that this moment happens because it is early on in the show, and it shows that these characters don't actually fully know each other yet, even though they've kind of been on some kind of adventure together. It's a very relatable and humanizing moment for this show. And so with a basket full of pranking supplies, the two of them go out into the town. They give Rarity flowers with sneezing powder in them. They replace Twilight's ink with disappearing ink, and paint all the apples at Sweet Apple Acres various patterns and colors, which really isn't much of a prank, but it does get Applejack upset until she realizes that it's a prank. But then for Fluttershy and a water-squirting fake duck, Pinkie Pie actually objects, saying that Fluttershy is just too sensitive to handle a prank. And I think that's a very mature thing to tell kids, that some friends are just too sensitive and it's okay to not do seemingly mean things even if they're in good fun. And to reinforce that point, Rainbow Dash, the more brash of all the characters we've met, agrees. But Pinkie Pie has a backup prank already just for her because she put ink on the eye hole on the telescope that Rainbow Dash is looking through, so Rainbow Dash comes out with a ring around her eye, and she gives a good, happy laugh for that. The next day, Pinkie Pie goes out to Rainbow's house to do some more pranking, and we just need to take a moment to talk about Rainbow Dash's house. It is a huge house made of clouds suspended in the sky with a rainbow waterfall coming off of it. It is such a cool design and totally fits the character. So Pinkie calls up to Rainbow Dash for the morning, but instead of a blue horse nose, a yellow bird beak comes out instead.
Morning, Pinks. Gilda, this is my gal pal, Pinkie Pie. Hey, what's up? Pinkie, this is my Griffon friend, Gilda. What's a Griffon? She's half eagle, half lion, and all awesome. That's right.
Gilda the Griffon is voiced by Mareka Hendricks, a very versatile voice actor who may be best known as the voice of Revy in the English dub of Black Lagoon. And unfortunately, she's not in the show that much, with a grand total of 4 appearances across all Friendship is Magic media, including spin-offs. So, getting back to Gilda, Rainbow and Gilda were in Junior Speedsters flight camp together and are really great friends. And after reciting the Junior Speedsters chant at Rainbow's request, Pinkie invites Gilda along on the prank that she and Rainbow were going to do. But Gilda really wants to have some time with Rainbow and fly around together, and Rainbow agrees, so they both take off, leaving Pinkie Pie behind, and kind of sad.
Whoa, that was sweet. Just like old times. Yeah, only faster.
And then Pinkie Pie pops in through the cloud that they're sitting on via a huge trampoline she placed underneath it. Gilda visibly starts to get jealous and has Rainbow Dash race her to a higher up cloud to get away from Pinkie Pie, but Pinkie counters by flying up tied to a bunch of balloons. Gilda tricks Rainbow Dash to race her again, but stays behind in order to pop Pinky's balloons to send her to the ground. Non-violently, of course. But as we learned earlier, you cannot escape a cartoon character, so Pinky comes right back up with a pedal-powered flying contraption. Gilda gets Rainbow to show off some of her new tricks off-screen, and then makes her intentions to Pinkie Pie very clear.
Don't you know how to take get lost for an answer? Dash doesn't need to hang with a dweeb like you now that I'm around. You're dorking up the skies, Stinky Pie. So make like a bee. Buzz off!
Not knowing what to do now since she's up against a bully, Pinky goes to consult with Twilight, which results in, well, this moment.
So, Pinkie Pie, are you sure that this friend of Rainbow Dash is really so mean? Yeah! She keeps stealing Rainbow Dash away, she popped my balloons, and she told me to buzz off! You know what I think, Pinkie Pie? Well, I think you're jealous. Jealous?
Green with envy. Well, in your case, pink with envy.
Listen, Pinky, I don't want to upset you, but just because Rainbow Dash has another friend doesn't make Gilda a grump. I mean, perhaps it's you, Pinky, who needs to improve her attitude.
I have watched this scene 3 times now, and that moment is still so maddening, because what we are witnessing here is Twilight Sparkle, who will be the future ruler of Equestria, gaslighting one of her friends. Gaslighting, by the way, is a form of psychological manipulation in which one person makes another person question their reality and sanity. You would not expect a children's cartoon to talk about this aspect of bullying in this way, and you certainly would not expect a My Little Pony cartoon to do it, but My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is not like other cartoons, and Lauren Faust designed it that way. And so, Pinkie Pie responds to this in a way most people who are being gaslit would respond.
Improve my attitude? But it's Gilda that, are you serious?
Given the current social climate, both online and offline, this scene hits me really hard. And the worst part is, because Pinkie Pie trusts Twilight so much, she starts to believe it and starts to get depressed. Later, Pinkie is sitting somewhere sipping on a milkshake when Rainbow Dash has to go off to do some weather job, leaving Gilda by herself in Ponyville. Pinkie watches as Gilda scares Granny Smith with the end of her tail.
A rattler! A rattler! Run for the hills! Everybody protect yourselves!
I just need to highlight every one of Tabitha St. Germain's moments like this. She's just so amazing. And then Gilda steals an apple from a cart and eats it right then. And despite that meanness and obvious theft, Pinkie Pie still believes in the gaslighting and doubts herself. But then Gilda does something that removes all of Pinkie Pie's doubt. Fluttershy. Sweet, innocent Fluttershy. She's just guiding a bunch of ducks through the middle of town when...
Hey! Please excuse me.
I'm walking here!
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to... I'm sorry! Why don't you just watch where you're going, doofus? But
And so right then, Pinkie decides that it is now time
For extreme measures! Pinkie Pie style!
And naturally, those extreme measures manifest themselves in the form of a party where Gilda is the guest of honor. Gilda's temper is immediately tested by getting joy buzzed by Pinkie Pie and avoids going off on Pinkie again as long as Rainbow Dash is around.
I know what you're up to.
Great!
I know what you're planning.
Well, I hope so. This wasn't supposed to be a surprise party.
And so the party and the pranks begin. Gilda eats one vanilla lemon drop, but it has pepper in it. So Rainbow Dash directs her to the punch, but the punch cup has a hole in it. After getting some actual relief with a drink, Rainbow Dash points out the presents for Gilda. She opens one, and it's a snakes in a can prank. So already, the pranks are really piling up. Pinkie Pie then brings out the cake, and when Gilda blows out the candles relight, and she keeps blowing them out, and they keep relighting. Another prank. Gilda keeps her anger hidden from Rainbow Dash again, before pulling Pinkie Pie behind the cake to tell her off.
Hey, I'm watching you like a hawk.
Why? Can't you watch me like a griffin?
And then it's time for Pin the Tail on the Pony. Gilda is blindfolded by Pinkie Pie and spun around in traditional pin the tail rules. But then when Pinkie walks Gilda forward to help her pin the tail, Gilda thinks that Pinkie is pulling another prank and goes the opposite direction. That causes her to slip on some frosting and slide all the way across the room and crash into the kitchen. She comes out with the tail on top of her beak, and everyone bursts into laughter, and then Gilda rages.
This is your idea of a good time? I've never met a lamer bunch of dweebs in all my life. And Pinkie Pie, you are Queen Lame-o with your weak little party pranks. Did you really think you could make me lose my cool? Well, Dash and I have 10 times as much cool as the rest of you put together. Come on, Dash, we're bailing on this pathetic scene. Come on, Rainbow Dash, I said we're leaving!
And then, in a shocking twist, Rainbow Dash reveals that she set up every prank at the party. And Pinkie Pie genuinely wanted to help improve Gilda's attitude. And then Rainbow Dash delivers the verbal knockout blow.
You know, this is not how I thought my old friends would treat my new friends. If being cool is all you care about, maybe you should go find some new cool friends someplace else.
This is the most important moment in the episode, and a moment that still resonates 10 years later. Rainbow Dash is perfectly okay with cutting this older, toxic friend out of her life because she's mean to her newer friends. And Gilda, being a bully and not prepared for Rainbow Dash's choice, responds just like any other bully.
Yeah? Well, you are such a flip-flop. Cool 1 minute and lame the next. When you decide not to be lame anymore, give me a call.
And then Gilda leaves, with Rainbow Dash now having lost an old friendship, but keeping a better new friendship. Twilight then apologizes to Pinkie Pie for gaslighting her, to which Pinkie replies that Twilight can't be the smartest one all the time.
Dearest Princess Celestia, today I learned that it's hard to accept when some pony you like wants to spend time with some pony who's not so nice. Though it's impossible to control who your friends hang out with, it is possible to control your own behavior. Just continue to be a good friend. In the end, the difference between a false friend and one who is true will surely come to light. Your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle.
Those last words of the letter are very impactful, that if you're friends with someone and they have a friend who is toxic, eventually that toxic friend will show their true selves. And with a little invisible ink prank to Princess Celestia, the episode is over, and wow. The theme and message of this episode is so much more important today than it ever was 10 years ago. Even though it was important 10 years ago, it is definitely way more important today with how much more toxic society has become, especially online. I kind of wish this episode aired more near the end of the series, like last year, instead of the beginning, because I think a lot of people have forgotten this episode and its message. But it's also important that this, the 5th episode of the show, has this message in it, because it shows that cutting toxic friends out of your life is healthy and is an okay thing to do. And I cannot give enough praise to the writing and the craftsmanship of this episode. So that's what I thought about the episode, but of course I'd love to hear what you think about it. You can tweet at me at InmanAlex, INMANALEX. You can leave a comment if you're listening on a platform that has comments. And be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to the Friendship Rewind, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Overcast, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts. Next week will be the day before my birthday, and the episode we'll be covering will feature the introduction of one of the most beloved characters in Friendship is Magic. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you again so much for listening, and I will see you next week for a brand new episode of the Friendship Rewind.